Welcome, race fans, to race number 14 in the NAVSCAR Pro Series, round number 2. Tonight we're racing from Michigan International Speedway in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Nice high-speed, 2-mile oval, high banks, super fast. Looking forward to a good race here tonight. I'm joined in the booth by none other than Raymond Edge. How's it going, Raymond?
Hey, going good. Excited to be in Michigan this week. Definitely on this fast, slick track.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the cars start off super tight, and as you know, you go through a fuel run, your tires fall off, and you could just snap loose without knowing that you've made such a big swing here. So it's going to be an interesting race. A little bit different rules package in the real race here this week. We're running our normal rules package. We don't have any low downforce or anything like that yet here at iRacing. But I'm excited. It should be a little bit different. I do like Michigan. I like running it. I like watching races here. You get some 4-wide action across the start-finish line, maybe even 5-wide tonight. You never know.
Yeah, you never can tell what Michigan's going to bring. If anybody can get the low line working, which it's going to be difficult from the few laps that I ran earlier, because it's like a skating rink down there if you are touching the throttle too quick. But it's definitely going to make for some fun racing. And yes, we do not have the low downforce package. Thank goodness that big spoiler is on the back.
Yeah, I think it could have been much worse here if we're running that low downforce package. But I'm excited to see what these guys get through here. As we got about 6 minutes left in qualifying, let's join them and see who's up on top.
And the Whopper himself so far.
Yeah, John Furshing Jr. Put down one lap. He's got a pretty quick time of 38.746. We got about a handful of drivers on the track right now. I would say about 10 or 11 drivers have put down a time. About 4 or 5 drivers actually on track, and a lot of drivers still holding on. Maybe wait until the final parts of this session to put down a time.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on that 51. DJ was running some, clocking off some pretty fast laps during practice and set up on top of the leaderboard there for quite a while. So definitely watch that 51 when he heads out for his qualifying lap.
Yeah, it looks like he's going out there right now, so let's go ahead and follow on board. Let's run this qualifying lap in his car and see what kind of lap and what kind of line he puts down. See here, he's we do have that rule where you come off out of the pits on the shoulder, so he's get as much speed as he can on that flat surface. But now that he's on the track, he's going to move up high. I bet you we see him run 3 and 4 here pretty high, so he can get back into the gas. He's coming down pretty low on the track here, but back into the gas real quick.
Yeah, he definitely has his line to where he can use that whole track coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, I think that's going to
be a little bit of dust right there.
I think that's going to be the major difference here tonight between the real world cars. I think these guys are going to be back into the gas much sooner than the real cars were because of that low downforce package they were running. But yeah, once you get back into it, once you carry that speed and get back into the throttle as quick as you can, that's really going to make you fast here, but it is going to really make that car tight through the turn.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good line coming through there. That second groove up, that I guess you could almost say that second lane with the pavement lines there is a really good line to come off that corner as hard as you can, and then down on the apron.
Yeah, let's see what kind of time that puts down for him. That pops him up to first place, 38.757. That was a quick lap. Full 10th quicker than Sean Butler. Oh, no, sorry, I lied. He did not take that first place spot. Second place. Off
by 100th.
100th of a second between those two. Pretty quick lap between the both of them.
That's still a good lap. Starting up front, hopefully stay out of trouble and pull it off.
Yeah, I don't mind front row or second row here. I think it's really I want to be in the front or in the back. I don't know if I want to be in the middle, and we'll see how these things go. But yeah, no quick repairs again. This is our second race of the new rules package. No quick repairs here, as well as leader-controlled restarts this time around. So it should be interesting to see how this start goes. Michigan is known for its restarts. Things typically get spread out after a couple laps, but those restarts can be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's almost, and I say almost, rather large, as good as Pocono when they spread out 6 and 7 wide. But I don't see them doing it here in Michigan, but they'll get spread out pretty good.
Timothy Lewis on track right now. Looks like he's trying to turn a second lap, maybe improve that 38.915 qualifying time he's got set down right now. Way up high, almost into the wall there on the exit of 4.
Jason Wells and Keith Haney almost ran identical laps.
Yeah, Keith Haney with a 38.742 puts him, yeah, you're right, 1/1000th splitting these two drivers here.
Wasn't that how much that Martin Truex lost the 500 by?
It was some crazy small number, that's for sure.
Yeah, like 6 inches.
$9.99. Corey Wharton's getting back out on track. It's going to be his first attempt at a lap here. Had a little bit of issue getting out of his box there, but keeps the car in good shape. No damage to the car, so gets it straight pointed forward, and he's going to try and put down a quick flyer here. Let's watch and see what kind of lap he can put down. Coming down onto that shoulder to take that start that clock here.
I think another thing the guys got to remember, since we got a new update, and they've added the dirt actually to the update now to a point. You can actually throw dirt out on the track now, and I can see some spots where guys have been down on that lower lane, and there's actually dirt down there, and it takes you, I don't know, a couple, 300-400 yards to get that stuff off your tires, and it will make a huge difference.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit different than races past here at Michigan. You know, guys like to drop down on that shoulder, and you know, we have that big debate on whether, you know, you gain time or not, but that shoulder is covered in dirt. You can see it, you know, off of 4, you know, and coming into 1. There's a lot of dirt there. Maybe not so much at the start-finish line, but you know, I think that's going to come into play here tonight. Corey Wharton puts down a 38.931. That's good enough for 11th as it stands, with 26 seconds left to go in the qualifying session. I want to take this time to mention that this race is a sponsored race. We are running the American Cancer Society 200, sponsored by John Fershing. We thank him for his support, and you know, goodcausecancer.org. Check them out, www.cancer.org. We'll have more information throughout the race about that organization and what you can do to support that cause. So I want to thank again John Fershing Sr. for coming on board here and sponsoring the race. There will be a $5 prize payout to the winner of this race, and we're looking forward to giving that away as we get the checkered flag. Jason Wells, it's going to take that top time by 1/1000th of a second.
Well, good job, Jason and Keith, for the front row starts there.
Yeah, I think starting on the front row is probably good here. You know, you always get kind of nervous when you got guys behind you and you're driving hard into the corner. And Michigan is a really high speed entry. Not a lot of braking here with this package, but you're never super comfortable in those first couple laps. It's kind of what happened here in Michigan this week. Is guys were saying they were just going to take it easy in that turn 1 and see how it plays out, see how their car handles in traffic. You know, with no quick repairs, I think these guys should do the same here this week. I think you want to kind of get those first couple laps under your belt to see what you got, as the cars are gridding right now. Let's go ahead and run through the grid. All right, starting row 1, Jason Wells with that qualifying time of 38.741. 2 races won by Jason Wells this year. He is locked into the chase. Keith Haney on the outside row. Row number 2, John Fershing Jr. and DJ Anderson on the outside of row number 2. Row number 3, we've got the 7 of Nelson Rivera and the 18 of Trent Potter. Row number 4, we've got our 4-time winner, Sean Butler, on the inside with the 929 of Thomas Keane on the outside. Row number 5, we have the 86 of James Skelton and the 14th of Timothy Lewis. Row number 6, we have the 999 of Corey Wharton and the other 4-time winner, 28 of Calvin Allison, starting, back in the 6th row here. Row number 7, we have the 11th of William Long and the 00 of Brian Wynn. Row number 8, we have the 82 of Mike Abbott and the 49 of Jeff Sharp. Row number 9, the 24 of Chris Sharp and the 81 of Nate LaFleur. Row number 10, the 955 of James Haney and the 83 of Jack Wells. Row number 11, we've got the 01 of Tommy Amassi and the 4 of Ricky Goodman. Row number 12, we got Butch Frazier and the first car to not put down a time, the 17th of David Howard. Row number 13, Jordan Beck and Kevin O'Brien, no times given. And starting in the back, Brent Rogers as well, no time in the last 14th row. Alright, so the leader is going to control this restart. They get the restart box, so to speak, when the pace car comes in. The leader will have control of the field and can really go at any point between that and the actual green flag. It's a new rule we implemented in round 2 with the rules changes, but didn't really come into play at Pocono. Pocono kind of, the pace car jumps in right when the green flag comes out, so you don't really have any control as the leader. But we're going to see that. We're going to see that here. So the 64 is going to control the pace. Alright, that pace car is in. It's up to the 64 now. And he goes.
Green, green, green.
Gets a good jump there. He's going to have his line available to him as he enters one.
Yeah, that was definitely a good jump by Jason. And that leader change that we made is going to make a pretty big difference because guys aren't going to know when the leader's going to go. So the hope was to help the field spread out a little bit. And I think we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I think looking at the field now, I think it has kind of caused that field to spread out a bit. So I think that's the effect we kind of want it to have. It's going to, maybe prevent some of those turn 1, turn 2 incidents and keep these cars looking good, as they can't repair them like they used to. So everyone's got to be a little bit more careful as we take that first lap without incident.
Good race. Everybody definitely being cautious right now, which is good.
Yeah, second through 6 right now running side by side, but they're running. Michigan has the benefit of being a pretty wide track. Even in the corners, there's lots of room. These guys can maneuver around each other as long as they're courteous and careful. I think we're going to see that most of the night here. Some different lines going on between first and second there. You can see Jason was way down low. I believe Keith was up high. Sean Butler in the mix right now. These guys are all pretty close riding on board with him. We can see what he's dealing with right now with cars around him.
Watching that 28 car, Calvin Allison, right now. He's ready to go.
Oh yeah, he is picking up some spots left and right here.
I don't know if that's really where he wanted to start this week, so he could work up through some of these other guys. Just knowing Calvin, or he took a vacation last week, and maybe he's just gotten rusty because he hasn't raced this week at all.
Well, you can see the 18 car right now, right up on the 929 of Thomas Keane. New paint job from Calvin this week, it looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty sure. He's the fastest car on the track right now. We're in the 39.09.
And I was listening to some of the guys in practice. I think maintaining your tires and kind of taking it easy in the first half of the run might be key here. You get about 30 laps, 32 laps on a fuel run. Pushing it to 33 might be difficult, but possible if guys really go aggressive on the fuel savings. And if you could push it to 33, you could almost do this race in 2 stops, but I don't think we're going to see anybody take that shot here. I think tires are going to be really important because we're going to see lap times fall off in the 2 to 3 second range after 15, 20 laps.
Yeah, it looks like Corey Wharton had a little trouble there coming off of 2, and maybe it bounced off the wall and took it down into the big pavement down there coming between 2 and 3. But he's back on the track now.
Yeah, he did lose quite a few positions here, but yeah, don't see any damage on the car. Looks like it's okay.
Yeah, it's a little treacherous once you get some air in the tires. Get that tire pressure built up. It gets a little slick coming off of 2 if you get back in the throttle. A little too quick, and tires aren't ready to grip, but got a handle on it, he'll figure it out.
Still some great racing going on, you know, 4th on back. Some great packs. All different lines they're running. Right now, Calvin has moved out to the outside. But guys in line now starting to think about maybe how they can get to the end of this run with their tires taking care of them. Jason Wells hasn't pulled away. Keith Haney is right on his bumper there for 2nd place. William Long makes a nice pass under Timothy Lewis there for the 11th position.
And I saw that 18 just now racing with Calvin. I'm like, I know that number, but I couldn't remember who it was, and it's Trent. I'm not used to him being here 2 weeks in a row because usually he flip-flops between Mondays and Wednesdays because of his work schedule. So good to see Trent in there tonight.
Yeah, now right now he's comfortable in a top 10 position, sitting in that ninth spot. And again, I think these guys are gonna, you know, try and get some laps, get comfortable, kind of feel what the car is gonna do here. Calvin has stopped his forward momentum for now, as the top 10 have really kind of gotten in line.
Sounds like a lot of give and take on the track too, just listening to the radios.
Well, that's what we were looking for with these new rules packages. It seems like it might have had the desired effect. These guys are, you know, they realize that, hey, they got to get their car to the end. There is an incident limit now, so they can't have a certain amount of incidents in the race before it kind of ejects them from that race. And there is a standard at which they have to kind of live up to for the entire season as well. So, you know, every 10 laps without an incident is important, and these guys are making sure they hit those marks.
Yeah, I hope it. You know, it seems like it's going to work out really good so far. You know, a couple of races we had with it, and just see how it plays off. And I'm sure it's going to make for a little better racing because guys are going to save their tires a little bit longer than they were before too. Yeah,
for sure. I think all that kind of conserving goes out the window as we get down to the end of the race, but I think this kind of, you know, really gets these guys thinking about how to get to the end of the race, and that's going to make them more competitive in the end as well. So I think we'll see. We'll really see what it really kind of effect it has at our next race in a couple weeks at Sonoma.
Yeah, that one's going to be one of those interesting ones for sure. And I just noticed that teammates Jordan Beck and Calvin both have the identical same car. So, yeah, they look pretty good this week.
I assume that is a team paint job. Yeah, they are running the exact same, or really close to the same paint. It's very, very good looking.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. give a shout out to Dale Albright. He's not here this week. I think he's playing around on the beach this week on vacation as well. Since yeah, it is that time of year.
Yeah, all these guys going on vacation, posting Facebook updates with their lobsters and stuff. It's driving me nuts. But I guess I do it too, so can't really complain.
Yeah, you've done enough of that.
Yes, sir.
That's okay. I'll be doing it next week from Myrtle Beach.
Nice. That's been in Myrtle Beach a couple times. Fun little place to go for sure, especially if you get some nice weather.
That good little battle with the 04 and the 999. Corey working his way back up through traffic after that little incident earlier.
Yeah, riding on board with the 999, he can, you know, he's still turning some pretty quick laps. He's running faster laps than the 10 or so cars in front of him. So if he keeps this pace up, he should be making some moves. But you got to be consistent, and hopefully he can keep it pointing in the right direction. I think he's doing a good job right now. It's still early, 13 laps to go, so nothing to be panicking about yet.
No, quite a few fuel stops to come into play here, definitely for tires.
Yeah, more than likely we're going to see at least 3 stops. I don't think anyone's going to make it on 2 unless someone in the back tries to be really aggressive with the fuel savings. But yeah, I think people are going to want those tires. I don't know if guys are going to go right to the end of a fuel run, or if maybe they're going to short pit, try and get an advantage on those tires.
Well, looking at the last speeds after, how many laps have we done now? 14, 15 laps? Yeah, they've dropped off a second and a half already, so.
Yeah, second and a half, and if you come down and get, you know, fresh tires, you know, you could be gaining a second and a half a lap for 10 laps if these guys don't come in, so it could be an advantage if you can short pit a little bit, but you don't want to, you know, these guys are probably going to be in the window for a 4-stop race, or a 3-stop race in about, what, 10 laps or so? 10 laps.
Yeah, I'd say 10 laps. You're probably going to want to come sooner than that, the way the tires are going away.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think someone's got to kind of fire it off, and someone's got to decide to come down here before everybody else. And that'll get guys moving, but I think we're going to see some different strategies, and we always do. I think a couple of the guys like to play with those fuel strategies. They might do something a little bit different than this lead pack.
Yep, just got to make something happen.
William Long right now is looking at James Skelton for that 10th position. He's got about 4 cars in front of him for position here. These guys are not really being too battly at lap 16. Everyone's kind of comfortable in line. Battly's a word, right?
Sure. I can't say that I was paying attention to you, Mike. I was listening to radio chat.
Are they talking about anything interesting?
Nah, just good racing. He's got himself a pretty good lead going on here now.
Yeah, about almost a second in front of Sean Butler. But Sean's notorious for really saving his stuff and turning it on when he needs to. So, you know, I wouldn't be happy with a 8/10 gap. I would want a little bit more.
Yeah, totally agree.
Right now, riding on board with Jason Wells, you can really hear that he's off the throttle a lot more than he was at the start of the session. Who gets kind of tight there on exit of 4 and has to get back off the throttle. That's going to hurt his straightaway speed. You can see the car's DJ Anderson pulls away a little bit on that straightaway. Looks like William Long does make the pass for 10th place around James Skelton.
And I think Trent and Calvin must have a rope between them because I don't think they've moved since this drop.
Yep, they've you know, I think kind of drafting doesn't come into play as much as the super speedway here, but it definitely comes into play, and I think it can keep the cars kind of packed together like that when they race in line. But you can see Calvin's kind of breaking up that draft here.
Yeah, he likes playing in the dirt.
Yeah, for sure, and you can see it. It's coming up off the grass into the track for sure.
Oh yeah, they were running some hot laps earlier in a pack, and I don't know who come across the start finish line, but it was like just a huge puff of dirt come flying up. I thought it might have been Cowboy emptying his boots or something as he was driving through, but I'm not sure.
William Long is really off the throttle, kind of holding that low line, trying to get under the 18 here. Does get under him, has to get off the gas to keep off of him, but does a good job. Still alongside him, I think, by a nose. We'll see how the guys enter into one. '18's running that high line, which can be a quick line here at Michigan for sure, but looks like he's going to... Whoa, man. That 11 card really pushes up. '18's going to get a good run off and keep that position to himself on the backstretch. Williams is going to lose a position because of it to James Skelton.
Yeah, Trent Derrick definitely can carry some momentum coming off that corner road dump there.
Yeah, your instinct is to kind of run the corner hard into the low line to kind of make that move. But you can see that because he had to get off the gas so aggressively to keep from pushing up into the car, ends up costing him that position. And the 86 is actually going to go underneath the 18. Maybe pull a bit of a slide job. Not really. 18 is going to try a crossover move. They're thinking about it.
He's just going to let James tow him.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like Trent's going to push him down the backstretch.
Looks like Sean's finally caught up with Keith and took the lead. Keith is having none of it.
Yeah, some good battling going on right now for that first place position. This is about the time where we're going to see cars kind of get loose, as I say that. The fifth place car of Thomas Keane, I believe, gets a little loose but saves it off the corner of 2. But I think we're going to see that kind of handling change right about now, where we might see some guys come around, or at least think about coming around. Oh, wow! Man,
it
Keith...
looked like Keith got a little loose right there.
Yeah, he got
didn't have any time to slow down.
More than a little loose, man. He was sidewinding that car, but I don't think there was any contact between the wall. He keeps the position, keeps the car moving forward, but man, that car looks like a handful right now. That was some drive in keeping that car pointed forward. Now we're getting kind of racy here in the top 4.
Yeah, that's definitely when the tire wear is coming into play.
Oh yeah, 100% for sure. So we've got a couple pretty distinct packs here. We've got top 5 together, and then we have 6th, 7th, and 8th together. There's the pack has spread out considerably. We have had a couple cars now coming into pit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm starting to hear them on the radio telling, waving everybody that they're coming in.
Yeah,
looks like 51 and 19 are coming in.
DJ Anderson, Sean Butler, looks like they're coming in.
So what are we looking at there? 25-ish laps or so?
26 laps, 25 laps, yeah, that puts them on a comfortable 3-stop race for sure. Looks like DJ Anderson blows his pit stop a little bit there, has to back it up. That's going to cost him. Sean Butler out. Looks like he's gonna win this pack back to the to that pit road finish line. Keith Haney, second place, is now on pit road. Jason Wells still on track. Be curious to see how far he pushes it.
Yeah, it's kind of wondering myself.
Unless you think you can get to lap 33, I don't think there's much advantage at this point on staying out. I think those guys that came in are really gonna, be turning lap times a full 2 seconds faster than you. Right now, Jason Wells, that last lap was 41.22. First car on tires, new tires, ran at 39.21, so that is a full 2 seconds quicker. But looks like Jason is, well, maybe he's not coming in. He's super slow. You can see how quick that John Furshing passes him there. Almost makes it look like Jason has a problem. But, the top 9 cars still have yet to pit. Looks like Jason's going to come in this time.
Yeah, it's probably pushing his window right there.
Yeah, but he, leads 9 laps, pulls up those bonus points. They never hurt near the end of the season. But Jason does have some wins, so he's locked into the chase. Corey Wharton. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it just sounds like the last couple of guys are starting to come in now, too.
Yeah, Jeff Sharp still on the track. Corey Wharton yet to pit. Jordan Beck, Brent Rogers, Nate LaFleur. Are you showing Mike Abbott as out of the race?
I am definitely showing his car sitting in the pit stall. And it doesn't look pretty.
I didn't see what happened with the Abbott.
Well, if you go back and you look at the 555, he's also sitting there, and I did see it, and why there was no caution for it is beyond me.
Oh, was there a contact between those two cars?
No, actually it was completely separate. It looked like the 94 got into the wall, I think coming off at 2, and Butch checked up enough to get around him, but when he did, the rear end of the car didn't like it, and he kind of slid across the asphalt there, hit the grass, and rolled over on his roof.
Oh, man.
Which is surprising there was no caution there, because he did slide back up on the shoulder of the track.
Yeah, the 999 has some rear end damage, looks like, as well, as he is now going to take over the lead position. Still yet to pit, about 5-6 cars yet to pit. Nelson Rivera, though, right now is sitting in 7th place. He is the first car that did pit. And Nelson has a 3-second gap over Kelvin Allison, who is the second car that pit. Everybody so far, I believe, has taken 4 tires. I don't think anyone has rolled the dice on 2 yet. So we're left.
I'm seeing, between 12-second and 15-second pit stops. So, yeah, most of them all took 4 tires of fuel.
Corey Wharton has just come into pit road. Nate LaFleur is still on the track. We're get to 32 laps. If he can push it to 33, he could make this a 2-stop race. Oh, gets real loose there. Oh, maybe
I'm sure that right rear is not very happy at the moment. Oh, he's coasting. Listen to him. He just shut the motor.
Yeah, I was going to just say, let's jump in board, and he doesn't have any power. Oh, he's just aggressively saving. He's back into the gas now. Is he going to turn one more? Probably going to run about halfway through the straightaway and then cut it down here.
Yeah, he's got, almost 5-second gap on the rest of them. So, yeah, you might as well stretch it.
He is aggressively saving. Cut it off just after the start-finish line. Runs, halfway through the corner, puts it back on, gets it up to speed, and he's at lap 33. He has done it. He's only got a 3-second lead Sounds like it's sputtering on him.
Yeah, it sounds like he's running on fumes. He needs that little reservoir that they were talking about all
Right.
weekend.
Flip the switch and
Yeah.
start that second pump, and he is going to get off the track. He's going to coast it into his pit box. Hopefully he's got enough power to maintain pit speed. Hard to tell your pit speed when your your engine's not running, though. Hopefully he doesn't get a speeding penalty.
Yeah, he's got plenty of speed to make it down and get down to pit road speed, 55 miles an hour.
And he's going to put it in the box. Let's see what happens here. He's going to take 4 tires and gas. Let's see if it holds him, though, after this stop.
Yeah, definitely something we need to pay attention to see how far he can stretch it.
Yeah, he's back on, so you kind of broke up there, Raymond, but probably alluding to the fact that if he can do that run again, he could basically do the race in one more stop. But I don't think he would be leading the race after that point unless he really turns some quick laps. Maybe. We'll see what position he ends up being in as these cycle around and he gets back up to speed.
And yes, that's exactly what I was alluding to when my internet wanted to mess with me.
Well, top 4 back on the track together. Nelson Rivera is leading Calvin Allison, Sean Butler, Thomas Keane, and John Fershing Jr. for the top 5. John Fershing is about 6 seconds back from that gap. Right now battling with Keith Haney. Looks like Keith is going to try and make that pass. The 11th of William Long is going to think about challenging the 15 as well. David Howard Jr. looks like he's running that high line. Or my apologies, might have been the 94, but the 94 looks like he is, yeah, he's a lap down. And Nate LaFleur is now a lap down as well after that cycle, so.
So yeah, that stretching the field might not have paid off.
Yeah, I don't think after, you know, another real aggressive 30 laps of fuel savings, he's going to be gaining enough time that these guys are on those tires. But he's you know, got tires right now, and he's going to race himself back on the lead lap here. Or he's going to try to as he passes the second place car of the 19, Sean Butler.
Yeah, I heard Sean key up and say, "Dave, you need to just go on. You got a lot fresher tires than I do."
And he's going to go underneath the 7 of Nelson Rivera, who probably won't fight for that position as well. There's no point in really fighting hard. Nate, let him have that position.
So instead of worrying about the lucky dog, Nate got it back the hard way.
Yeah, that's what he's got to do right now. He's got to use those new tires. You know, he's got to, as he gets loose, but does save it. He'll get back, keeps it on the track there. But he's got to use those, you know, 10-lap fresher tires than all these other guys and try and make up some time. But again, you know, if you're making up time, you're not saving fuel, so it's going to be tough for him to make that 33 lap fuel window again.
That will definitely hinder his progression.
All right, now Thomas Keane right on the bumper of the 19 of Sean Butler. Looks like the 7th got a little wiggle. Sean Butler checks up just a little bit. Thomas is going to look on the inside of the 7 car of Nelson Rivera. A little bit of right front damage. Maybe not. I might be seeing things, but it looked like there's a little bit of damage on the 929. Makes that pass pretty cleanly.
Nah, fish.
All I heard was blah, 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 fish.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's just a fish on his finger.
I don't know. I think we should probably make them park it and fix those illegal modifications. That was a Brad Kozlowski joke. I like to call that one.
Crickets.
Yeah, I know. So, what'd you think of Joey Logano winning in Michigan?
I love Daniel Suarez winning in Michigan.
Right? I said Joey Logano, but okay.
I didn't hear that either.
But Daniel Suarez, man, that's good to see him have his first win. I'm sure we'll see a couple more from that kid.
Yeah, and his enthusiasm is awesome.
Ooh,
Man, we got a
yellow
caution.
flag. David Howard Jr. really low on the backstretch. Let's see if we can see what happened. Oh, 555 is sideways. .555, yeah, bounces off the wall. Unfortunately, Haney is going to get collected in that. David Howard does make contact, but I think is the benefit of a little bit of net code there, and it doesn't look like there'll be any damage to Dave. First caution comes out.
It collected a couple cars there.
Yeah, lap 43. Well, let's go ahead and take the time to use this break. I'll talk about a little bit about our sponsor. Let's just go ahead and let them have a few words.
We're only human. We rely on our courage. The kind of courage that shows up when we need it. And when cancer is least expecting it. Courage. Just one reason more of us are surviving cancer than dying from it. Give now to the American Cancer Society.
So yeah, you know, again, we like to thank John Frisching Sr. for go ahead and sponsoring this race. And you know, cancer is one of those things that touches all of us. I think we all know somebody. We've all been touched by cancer, and we all you know what kind of effect it can have on people and families and you know, the world in general. So we encourage everybody to go to www.cancer.org. More information about how you can donate, how you can support the cause. There's a bunch of different ways you can do that. There is a donate button right on the website, or you can participate in their fundraisers and you know, different things they do throughout the year. But again, we want to thank John Frisching Sr. for coming on board and you know, putting that sponsorship up for this good cause.
Yeah, thanks, John. We appreciate that, bud.
All right, looks like we had some takers. People came in and took some fuel. Nate LaFleur in first place. Maybe stays out. Like, well, I know he stayed out, but I think that's an interesting strategy. I think this caution is going to extend his window, right? So he shouldn't have a problem getting to lap 66 from this point. His car's not looking too clean. His tires might be a little worn, so he's gonna have to be really careful on this restart with all these cars behind him on new tires.
It is gonna make for an interesting start, and it looks like he's gonna come down anyway.
Yeah, maybe he decided I don't want to be out front with no tires, so I'm gonna come down and gonna get some fuel and some gas. It's gonna put him on the same. Actually, might not be quite the same strategy of all these other cars, but everybody should be able to make it now. Actually, it'll be pretty close. Well, we know they all can make it on one more stop. I think they can do comfortably. They can do 60 laps, so should be okay. He didn't stop. He just drove through the pits. I don't get that move.
I do. He's wanting to save his fuel mileage, but he did not want to start up front. So he knew what those tires are going to do. He's just going to ride them out.
Yeah, but if you're going to drive through the pit and move yourself to the back, you might as well stop, get tires, get gas, and get back on the track.
Well, I I guess we'll have to talk to Whopper Jr. after the race and see what he's thinking.
Yeah, I don't see the benefit of moving yourself to the back. Like, he would have had the exact same scenario, except he would have 4 fresh tires and some gas. So,
he's got a plan that we don't know about.
maybe. I don't want to put it past Nate.
Yeah, he took those couple months off with the issues with his rig, so maybe he learned something while he was off.
He's still pretty slow on the.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's waiting. Not sorry, I didn't mean that. He's still a pretty slow driver. I mean, he's currently slow on the track. But
oh, okay, yeah, I misunderstood.
He's just looking. It looks like he's letting cars pass him at the moment.
Just kidding, mate.
Yeah, that totally came off. Yeah, he's still pretty slow.
He is not the brightest bulb in the box.
Alright, let's take a look at our schedule. So we have a week off next week. We won't have a broadcast. There is no race next week. But the week after that, we will be going to Turn Right. That's Sonoma. We love us some right-handed turns. So Sonoma's going to be a fun one. Then we're back for the Coke 0200 to Daytona. Then we've got Kentucky, New Hampshire, Indianapolis, and Pocono for our next 6 races. So bit of a break, and then we got about a 2-month stretch before the next break, and then we finish the season out. So it should be fun.
And I'm just going to throw it out there. I actually love road courses. So anybody wants a substitute
Yeah.
in a couple weeks, I'll be in Myrtle Beach next week. We got the week off. So yeah,
You gonna be the Boris said?
I will be the Boris said. My hair's about that way.
I was gonna say you gotta.
It's not that curly.
We gotta get you some perm action going on. I ran into that guy in a mall in Florida one year. We're just down. I'm like, hey, look, it's Boris said. I'm like, that's gotta be Boris said. There's nobody else in the world that looks like Boris said, but I didn't bother him. Not that any would have been much of a bother. I don't think anybody really knew who he was, but it was definitely him. He's a tall guy.
Yeah, he looks pretty lanky. I still think he is the Stig on Top Gear, but I can't prove it.
He could be for sure. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad choice. On the American Top Gear, I assume you're saying.
Yeah, American Top Gear.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would be a good bet. As the pace car's in, let's see what the leader does here.
Green flag, green flag.
Got a couple cars spinning their tires, but looks like a pretty good start. Thomas Keane gets a nice little jump there. They say cautions breed cautions, so let's see what happens as we get the first couple laps back up to speed. Riding on board with the 8th place of John Furshing Jr. Watching some pretty good battles going on in front of him here. I think it's hard to be down on the bottom and make your car fast and stick and not push up into the car on the outside and complete that pass. Looks like these guys get a little bit uncomfortable when they get down inside a car.
Yeah, it gets a little sketchy.
William Long's doing a good job sucking up to the 28 car, but again, these top 5, top 6 cars are spreading out a lot. There's some good battling going on for that 6th, 7th, 8th position. Cars dropping down to the shoulder.
I'm going to say, as you see a snake go across the front stretch.
Yeah, man, I think, drafting is definitely going to come into play here. Again, not as big as the super speedways, but you want to follow that car in front of you.
1 or 2 miles an hour faster in the draft helps a lot when you get down to that turn 1.
Yeah, it's hard to get out and pass, but you know, keeping up with the car in front of you, keeping sucked up, keeping them in distance, I think that's going to go a long way. But again, guys that are, you know, Thomas Keane, Sean Butler, both turning some pretty quick laps. I think guys got to remember, got to keep our tires in good shape as we get down to the end of this run. That brings us to the halfway point. 50 laps done of 150 to go. William Long gets a nice run on the 7 of Nelson Revere going into 4. See if Nelson's going to give him that position or fight him back on the outside. Looks like he's going to elect to just give him that spot. DJ Anderson got 2 cars in front of him, doesn't know where to go. Looks like he's going to go on the inside of the 87.
Yeah, it looked like Keith was having a little loose issue.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, you get
maybe a little bit.
You get into the pack, and I think take a little bit of air off that you know, side draft, and you kind of throw some air off that spoiler. It definitely make the car loose. James Skelton's going to try and go by the 87 of Keith Haney as well.
DJ gets a good run off of 2 behind John Fershing there. It looks like he might just take him into 3 here.
Yeah, it looks like he's got that runoff of 2 really figured out. He's able to make some good drives down the backstretch. Seems like that's his preferred method, you know, preferred place to pass. But John's not going to give him that position as easily as you know, as James or Keith did at that point. He was able to fight back on the straightaway and keep his position. Let's watch the line of the 51 coming off of 2 and see what he's doing here to get that run.
I don't think it's more or less his line as when he's actually lifting to get in the corner. He's not coming in as hard, so he can roll the center better, and he can get back into the throttle much quicker.
Let's go ahead and ride on board, and we'll see what he does. He's right up on the bumper now of John Fershing, so he might not be able to set up his run as well as he did that last couple laps, but let's see what he does here entering 1. He definitely, you know, starts that corner off a little bit high and comes down on exit and is able to lengthen that straightaway. That allows him to get into the gas a lot quicker, and you can see he's pulling up to the 15 and he's thinking about going inside, but I don't think he got as much of a gap entering 1 as he would have liked to be able to really pull off that that run off the backstretch. A lot of cars going on and battling in front of him. Kind of got to figure out who you want to go with, where you want to go. You got to make yourself a hole. But you always feel uncomfortable going into the middle, like you know, watching the race this weekend with Dale Earnhardt Jr. You go in the middle, you never know what's going to happen.
That's a fact.
Wow, you can hear him even blip the throttle on entry of the corner. Gets off the throttle, gets back into the throttle, then off the throttle. Just really manipulating his speed into the corner. Gets a great run now. He's going to move down to the inside, but
He's got a roadblock in front of him.
Yep, patience is key in these situations. You got to wait for an opportunity to show itself. One of these cars, you know, could get a little loose, or there could be a little bit of contact.
But you can throw a blanket over the 11, 17, and 18, and it looks like the 15 now.
Yeah, 2x2. Who's thinking about going 3 wide? He's not going to put it in that in the middle there. Probably smart move.
Yeah, give that about 5 to go, and I guarantee somebody's going up the middle.
Oh, I for sure, man. You see that gap? You're like, I can put my car in there. That'll go in there. And you know, with 43 laps to go, he's like, maybe not the time, but with 10, 15 laps to go, yeah, I don't think there's a question. I think you're gonna force the issue. It looks like they've all straightened back into line again. I don't know if anybody made any passes or what, but they are back single file. Looks like we'll go check on the leaders. Sean Butler right now pressuring Thomas Keane for that first position. They got about a second gap onto the 28 car of Calvin Allison in third place. Checking back with the 15 of John Frisching Jr. This is some of the tightest racing right now on the track.
Yeah, those guys up front are missing all the fun.
Yeah, missing or... I don't know. I think I'd rather be leading the race, to be honest. Even though you're right, it's fun to be racing in these packs. This is some good hard racing going on. And these guys will probably talk about it after the race, saying how much they enjoyed it.
Yeah, this makes that right there is what makes it fun racing.
Sean Butler goes on the inside, drives around Thomas Keane on that front stretch there. And 28 of Calvin Allison looks like he's coming out of the pits. Look like he's short pit. .40 laps to go. Guys are going to want to get about 10 more laps on their into this run, and then they'll think about coming into pit. 28 right now, fresh tires, going to drive around both these guys pretty easily. Keith Haney battling back from that incident earlier in the race, up to 9th position. He's going to go by the 18 of Trent Potter and try to make it 2 for 1 here. Go by the 11 of William Long as well. He is going to beat him back to the start-finish line and get that position. .18's not going to have it, though. He's going to fight back hard and stick a nose on the inside, maybe get a run off of 4 here, or off of 2, sorry.
I like it. These guys are making my other job easy.
Yeah, right? Everyone's doing pretty good. No issues on the track right now. 37 laps to go. I think everyone's done a great job. Mind you, I didn't see the incident earlier in the race, but...
It's true. I didn't see it until like everybody had already got off the pit road. And I'm like, why is Butch in there? But, you know, it's one of those things. iRacing didn't pick it up. mean, it could have been worse. It could have been a groundhog on the track.
Yeah, right? We'd have to send you out there with a bucket.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or a rifle. Whatever.
Nah, I'd take a bow.
Yeah. Keith Haney all over the track, looking wants to keep that momentum. I think the announcers talked about that during the actual NASCAR race at Michigan, talking about not Kyle Busch but Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch likes to make some crazy moves top to bottom, in traffic, because once you have that momentum, that forward momentum, you don't want to stop it for any reason. You want to kind of take advantage of it. So finding the clear track, finding the lane without letting your foot off the gas, becomes really important. And sometimes you can make it look really dramatic and scary, but Kurt does it pretty well. Keith Haney is going to try and make that pass over James Skelton. Does beat him back to the line pretty handily there.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was doing at the beginning of that run. Was just saving tires, waiting for the rest of them to chew them up.
Yeah, no
doubt.
doubt.
On the way back up now.
Yeah, I think some of these guys are definitely thinking about that, thinking about how to make sure their car's good in the long run. 34 laps to go. We could see some takers. We could see some guys come in, 2 laps from now and try and push it right to the end, but try and get those new tires and build some distance. But I think once one person comes down, we're going to see them all come down. Sometime in the next 4 to 5 laps, I would guess.
Well, I went back and looked at Calvin's times that he's running right now, and he's a second and a half faster on those new tires. So they might start thinking about it.
What place is Calvin in, though? It looks like he's
actually in 21st, it looks like.
Yeah, see, I think he came in too early because he's still going to have to come in again. He can't go the entire distance when he came in.
No, so. That is true, but he can have fresher tires. That's for sure. Who knows what he's thinking? We're still trying to figure out Nate.
Yeah, right? Nate's in 20th, so I see him as having 2 pit stops. I don't know if it counts a pit stop when you just drive through, but
yes, it does.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he did come in because I'm showing him with 3 pit stops, and the last one was like a 39 on and off pit road. So
he must, because I think he'd be running out in a lap or 2 if he didn't come in. So
yeah, he'd have done come in by now, being out of fuel. Yeah, I think pit road's about ready to get really busy.
Yep, guys are going to be thinking about it, that's for sure. DJ Anderson right now, 5th position, looking up at David Howard Jr. Nelson Rivera, Thomas Keane, and Sean Butler have kind of checked out a little bit.
Yeah, 14's on pit road now. Tim Lewis.
Trent Potter gets super loose coming off of 4, but does save it.
I think Tim just ran over his lollipop guy.
He shouldn't have been standing there.
That's true. I think it's too many men over the wall myself, but,
Screw dirt, man. I want full pit stop animations.
Yeah.
DJ Anderson up to 4th position, drives around No, these guys are still fighting. No, he did pass him. So DJ Anderson up to 4th, David Howard in 5th, John Furshing Jr. in 6th. 30 laps to go. Guys got to be thinking about coming in soon.
Oh, yeah, they're calling it out on the radio now. They're starting to trickle in one at a time.
Doesn't look like anybody in the top 10 is pit yet. Trent Potter looks like he came down. If I'm Thomas Keane looking at a second and a half gap to Sean Butler, I'm coming in next lap.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you for all the radio traffic.
Oh, it looks like they are coming in right now. Thomas Keane locks it up on entry. Hopefully, he doesn't get a speeding penalty, but definitely flat spotted those tires. Good luck, or good thing he's changing all four here.
Well, he doesn't have a choice now.
Well, we didn't talk about it. I guess somebody could try and take two. Sean Butler slides through his pit box. Both of them do. Follow the leader.
Blow through the pits. That'll cost you a couple seconds.
John Fershing as well.
Just trying to get all they can. Didn't realize, or I guess didn't think of how slick those tires are going to be coming off of there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any takers for two tires.
Smart.
Right now, James Skelton has inherited the lead. Looks
Boy,
like
Tim Lewis went past the 86 like he was sitting still.
Yeah, 86 was thinking about setting up his pit entry. Looks like he does come in there. So that's going to give the lead to the 64. Jason Wells. Again, we'll probably see him pull off here soon. Sean Butler is back to 5th position, so we still have 5 cars that need to come in and pit.
It looks like the 82 made it back onto pit road. They must have had that thing back there completely replacing everything on that car.
Yeah, the front end of that car does not look too good. Jason Wells is coming down pit road, so that's going to hand it off to the 28 of Calvin Allison. Now, Calvin's going to run, I think. He's going to try and wait for a caution here. He's got about 10 more laps if my calculations are right. So I think he may try and stay out. There's no way he's going to the end, but he might stay out and hope for a caution.
Yeah, he won't make it to the end on fuel, but he'll stretch them tires, there's no doubt.
Yeah, we could also see him come in and just try and take a splash and go, but you know, right now his previous lap was a 40.75. Sean Butler ran a 39.2, so a second and a half faster. He's got a 12-second gap. So, you know, my calculations, 7 or so laps, he's going to be right on him.
Yeah, it definitely won't take long. So he's going to have to hope for a caution here.
Still 21 cars on the lead lap. Pretty good showing for all these guys. We had 27 cars start the race. Looks like everybody right now is still on track. No, nobody sent to the garage just yet.
No, there's some beat-up cars out there, but they're on the track.
Looks like the closest battle on the track right now is DJ Anderson with the 87 of Keith Haney. These guys are both fighting for position. They're fighting for that 6th position. James Skelton as well as William Long and Timothy Lewis. Sorry, Timothy Lewis and Corey Wharton are all fighting for position here. Wow, Corey, slow car in the middle of the track. Corey's got to dive low at the last second there. Does make it by safely. '86 is also fighting for position with Corey Wharton for that 8th position.
Looks like he might get a good run off of him. Corey's definitely playing that defensive line really well coming off there, not getting James enough room to get down underneath him. That was a good move there.
Yeah, James is keeping as low as he can while trying to get a good run off. Yellow flag.
Caution's out.
I did not see what brought that out. Did you?
It looked like the 11 might have lost his monitor. He slowed and just pulled it over to the wall.
Yeah, I was going to say I saw him slow and then exit, but yeah, I guess he couldn't see what was going on, and it's tough in that situation. He disappeared right at the right time there. Tough in that situation. You don't know where to go. You just want to kind of get out of everyone's way, but you don't want to turn left down the track, so...
Yeah, he definitely did a good job keeping it out of the way.
Well, that's going to change things just a little, don't you think?
Yeah, that'll do something.
All right, let's take a look at the chase grid. This was the chase grid entering the race. Pretty much the same as last week. The only difference is I believe we saw the 2 car of Joshua Buckley slide off the chase grid. He did not race last week, so that moved him, I think, from the 9th position back to the 17th position. So everybody else was able to move up. Keith Haney was able to secure that last spot right now on points, and we still got 8 winners from the first half of the season. So that's where she stands right now. All right, pit road. She looked a little busy. All right, guys, we're loading back in. I apologize, computer crash, but we should have the iRacing